The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Women's Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericawomen.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having a wonderful day, and I'm excited to be joining you on today. Because I believe every time that you link in, that you click on the link, you call in, you join us, that I believe it's on purpose and it's a way that you are saying yes to you. And so I always celebrate those moments that we get to connect with you and support you on your journey. Today, we're going to be talking about how to support your soul, S-O-U-L, and a business, because guess what? They are not mutually exclusive. They can be combined together. So your soul, S-O-U-L, and business during the holiday season. And I will be so bold as to say that I believe many of these things you're going to learn today will help you through the holidays and beyond, that you can really carry them forward with you. So I'm very excited to have you join us as we look at things, I call it from a practical and a profound level. Practical are those pragmatic steps, things that we do, action that we take, things that we can take step by step to move forward. And the profound are really the intuitive, the soul, how we're really connecting to our purpose and the relationship side of us. And I believe there is such power when we can bring those together. And today we have two experts that are representing, in a sense, the profound side and the practical side that we're going to be bringing together. So I know you're in for a real treat today in our conversation. And as I was getting ready for our conversation today, I had something laid upon my heart that I was very convicted in to share with you. And so I know this information I'm about to share with you is for someone that is tuning in today, and maybe several of you, and I hope many of you. And in order to really hear my heart in this, I encourage you to let's take a clearing breath together. And I want to remind you, you're absolutely safe and supported and needed. And in this safe space, I want to share my heart in an area that I feel many of us can struggle in. And it's something, as I look back and I dig back into my past, that I've learned. And again, it was laid really strongly in my heart to share with you today, and it has to do with money. I was a financial advisor for almost 15 years, just under, so 14 plus. And I worked in corporate America, where I worked with small companies and large companies, startups to Fortune 500s that had a worldwide presence. And I got to work with their leadership team around money things and the retirement plans and how to work through them and how to make those decisions, and then how to empower their employees around them. The last leg of my career, I had my own financial practice where I got to still work with companies, but I also got to work with individuals. And it was a successful, thriving practice. And it's actually what I ended up growing the empowerment side of the work that I do today under. And it started as a hobby. And I was able to invest in it, grow in it, and support women and men in that work through books, through speaking, through teaching, and eventually radio, television, etc., and expanded and grew. And both my businesses were growing, the empowerment side and the business side. The financial side, and ended up getting to make a decision to go one direction or the other so I could really put 100% of myself into the work that I do. And so I ended up retiring from the financial industry at a really high point. I'd hit the $20 million club. I had helped hundreds and thousands of people and businesses in a really powerful way. So I got to leave on a real high note and step fully into the work that I'm doing today. And here's what was laid upon my heart to share with you. During that journey, when I first switched over to the personal side of the business, I would lay these brilliant plans because I can see numbers. They make sense to me, like the number whisperer, to individuals and families I was working with, and they wouldn't do them. And I couldn't understand, because I had all the practical steps, why they weren't taking the action to help move them forward to achieve what they said they wanted to achieve. And what I learned were a couple things. One, it was my plan and not theirs. So I had to learn how to empower them to step into a leadership position on both a practical, the actions that we take level, and a profound level, the relationship side with money. And the second thing I learned is that you couldn't have focus on just one area. You really had to have a well-rounded approach. That if I just focused on the practical, here's how the numbers work, here's how you build, I was leaving the human and the person and the heart out of the work. But if I focused 100% on their heart and manifesting and bringing in, they didn't have the practical steps they needed to make the money work and flow for them. So here's what made all the difference. And this is what I want to share with you today, the wisdom. You need both. You really need this practical side and the profound side to be successful in your relationship with money, to build what you want to build. It's the same thing when we look at our business, and it's the same thing when we look at our life, and are we on purpose and going where we want to go. So many people I talk to, especially in the coaching speaking arena, they call me up and they say, Rebecca, I'm struggling in this financial arena. And I said, tell me more, see how I may be of support to you. And they share how they've been releasing the emotional blocks, things that are stopping the flow, that they're ready to receive, that they're spending time visualizing and working on their relationship side with money. And I always say, wonderful, fabulous, I'm glad to hear that. So you're ready to receive. So what are you doing? And they'll go, I'm spending time every day visualizing, every day ready to receive, clearing the blocks. I said, wonderful. What practical action steps are you taking so that now that you're ready to receive and you're not blocking it, you're actually helping it come in? And that's where I find sometimes we can fall down. So there's really needs to be this merger between the practical and the profound side of things to really help you move forward powerfully, I believe, in money, in your business, and in your relationships, and in the purpose that you are called to bring forward in your life. That there are some practical steps we can do. In the business side, it can be picking up the phone, it can be making the call, it can be returning the calls. If we offer something, it's offering it, not keeping it a secret, hoping people figure it out. We have to share what it is that we do, how we can help them, and how it works so they know what they can say yes or no to. And then we always need to work on our relationship side with ourselves and what we're doing. So I hope that that is serving you, giving you something else to think about when we're thinking about money, when we're thinking about business, when we're thinking about our purpose. There really needs to be this merger between the practical and the profound. So a gift that you're going to find from me, and I will tell you how to find it at the end of our conversation today, is all about how to make this connection with money. It's the 7 myths and powerful truths about money. It's a free ebook to support you on your journey. So if that's something that touched you and you're wanting to learn more about how these things all fit together, I encourage you to lean into that opportunity, and I will share with you how at the end of our time together today. So let's take a deep breath again. I appreciate you letting me share something that was laid upon my heart, and I hope that it's serving you as we open up the conversation to really explore things around the practical and the profound. So let's take a moment to pause and really digest what's been shared and what it is that you may need to support and serve you on your journey. Those of you who are driving, please stay safe, stay alert, hands on the wheel. Those of you who are able to, let's put both feet on the floor. Take a deep breath. One more breath and put one hand on your heart, one hand on the top of your head, bringing all of you in. And close your eyes. And in this quiet space, what is it that you need today to serve and support you on your journey? What is it that will help you, empower you, encourage you, enlighten you? What is it you need? Go ahead and receive that information. It can be a picture, a thought, a word, a phrase, a memory. We can be communicated with in so many different ways. I invite you to lean into what you're receiving. Another deep breath. Go ahead and open up your eyes and let's capture that information. Go ahead and write it down, what it is that you need to serve and support you on your journey. Because the more we can keep that top of mind and be on the lookout for it, the much easier, more easily we can say yes and receive whatever it is that we need. And then it's easier to know what to say yes or no to move us forward in our journey. Wonderful. And with that, Leslie, I didn't know if you had something laid upon your heart. Leslie's one of our guests today to share with us.
You know, I was just thinking about what you were saying and how true it is that you need both the spiritual, the spiritual as well as the practical to be successful in business. I never really thought about it before, but it's so true.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Thank you. And Nancy, did you have something laid upon your heart?
Yes. Thank you so much for that beautiful teaching, Rebecca. And it is true. Even living a soul-directed life, it's both profound and practical. And so for me, what came is that for me to make space to create silence every day in my life so that I really can hear the guidance and the whispers from my soul.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I agree. That has been such a powerful experience for me and such life-changing, actually, to develop that practice of pausing and listening, because I, by wiring, am more action-oriented than pausing-oriented. But when I've learned to do that, it has made such a difference, and my actions actually are wiser and create more leveraged results when I'm able to pause and seek wisdom and listen. And it gives me great comfort and strength and direction in the choices that we get to make. So thank you, Nancy, for sharing. I appreciate that. And listeners, I invite you as we move into our first break here, that you have an opportunity to continue to listen and really see what was laid upon your heart during that pause as you are listening to your wisdom that is serving and supporting you on your journey. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that time to be still and listen, especially during the holiday season. The pace can pick up and we can be pulled so many directions that I find it invaluable to be able to pause, even if it's just a minute, and listen and receive and be encouraged on our journey. So thank you for joining us in that way. And now we are shifting gears a little bit to continue our conversation, and we're going to be really looking at our soul. Our next expert, and that's S-O-U-L. Our next expert, her name is Nancy Monson. She is a speaker, an author. She has an MA, an MBA, and a CPCC, over 20 years experience in working with organizations and individuals. And she defines herself as a soul purpose advocate, helping us live a soul-directed life. I think that's so beautiful. I want to breathe that in, and I want to warmly, warmly welcome the amazing Nancy Monson to the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. I'm so honored and excited to be here today.
Excited to have you. And I wanted to start our conversation exploring something with you, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm asking permission.
Go right ahead.
And I love to start with why, because I don't know actually anybody that defines themselves as a soul purpose advocate. And why I wanted to breathe that in is I love not only are you helping us tap into our soul purpose, our why, but you're actually an advocate for us and our purpose and our soul all in one. And I love, love, love how you define yourself in that. And I wanted to have you share with us your heart in this, the why this work of being a soul purpose advocate is so important personally to you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Rebecca. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's supremely important to me. I have known for almost my whole life that I was here to help people in some way, and it's been a long journey to try and discover what that is. And through my teachings, you can see I have a lot of education. I was trained spiritual guide, and the essence of spiritual guidance is to really help support a person in living their full soul's potential. We're born with seeds of potential to express that divine element of God, of consciousness, of the Creator, and it's just my calling to support people in that way. And we don't even advocate for our own soul many times because of the wounding that we've experienced, and so I want to stand for that and help people to really bring out their full potential.
I love that. And what I felt energetically as you were sharing that is you're taking a stand for us, for those seeds, so that they can grow and we can grow into our potential regardless of our journey, regardless of our wounds, that you are taking a stand for us and for our purpose. And there is such power and love in that. And I want to thank you for the work that you do.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much, Rebecca. It's just my joy. I feel honored to be a witness and a supporter and a compassionate space holder for people who are willing to, because it's scary. In my own journey, I know that. So it's a hard thing to do, but we need to do it.
Can I share a real moment we had behind the scenes about that?
Sure.
We were talking about how, when walking our talk, and Nancy and I are talking a little bit behind the scenes, and all of us have these moments where we're being asked to stretch in a new way, kind of be a little uncomfortable. And when we do the work that we do as coaches, as speakers, as healers, there's a lot of talking that we do and supporting and coaching that we help others with. And then those moments come where we're being asked to stretch in a similar way outside of our comfort zone. And what I find, and Nancy, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but just if you identify with this and you want to share, I love it. I find when those moments happen, I know the answer. Like I know what I'm supposed to do. And what sometimes will push me to do it is because I'm like, well, I can't get on the radio the next day or look myself in the mirror, get on stage telling people to do this if I'm not doing it myself. Like I'm so convicted. And it helps me over that hurdle sometimes of resistance, or where I might feel stretched a little bit or not wanting to. I have that moment where, Rebecca, you know the answer. You know that in order to be in alignment and share what you have to share, that you need to step into that space. And so, in a sense, my people and those I serve help me push through that resistance in my work and all that I do. So I appreciate all of you and know that in those stretching moments, you're all supporting me too.
Yes. Yes. We do, to stand in this, in whatever our calling is, especially as coaches or teachers or speakers, it is about being authentic and in complete congruency and alignment with who our message. Otherwise, that is picked up. People can sense when there's some out of alignment energetically, and we are not as powerful as we could be. So we have to walk the path that we are asking others to walk. That's my conviction.
Yep, I agree. And it's a choice we get to keep making. But
every day.
Exactly. But the answer and choice becomes clear. And it gives us that little push forward that we need sometimes. So thank you for sharing in that way, Nancy.
Sure.
So bringing us back to the holiday season, because that is the season we're in. And I know that this information we're sharing lives beyond the holiday season, but I always love to tie it in the time of the year that we are connecting together. So looking at the holiday season, what does this mean? How can we tap into the energy of the season and really leaning into our relationship with our soul and living a soul-directed life?
Oh, it's a great question, and it's something that I've pondered and explored and witnessed in my own life and through my teachings and the work I do with my clients. What the truth is our soul actually goes through a rebirthing every year in harmony with the seasons, just like the trees, just like we have the fields go fallow in the wintertime, the trees go dormant, the animals go inward, they move less, bears hibernate, other animals go in deep to winter sleep. Our soul also is calling us to go inward, to rest, to replenish, to prepare for the spring when we're going to bring out a new expression of our soul. It's a time of gestation. And so in the holiday season, we can feel a lot of stress because there's this calling to go inward, to be silent, to go deep within our own inner silence and explore what is there. What does our soul wish to bring out and express in the coming year? And yet we're called to go out and do all of these extroverted things, have parties and gift giving and celebrations, spend time with family and friends. So it can be a very difficult time because there's this conflict between the inner call and the outer call of the world, which I think creates some stress for people.
So that, and I agree, absolutely. So that being the case, since we can't eliminate all of that, that's going to be happening during this season. How can we proactively support our soul in this season?
Well, there's, I believe that there's a way to do that, and it's about honoring both, creating some time, creating a space in our lives. As I said earlier, kind of the thing that was laid on my heart about making sure I make space and create a time in my day to really go into that silence and listen to the whisperings of my soul. And I like to share a 4-step process that I help people through, or they can do on their own, to help them through this time, to really make a small space out of this crazy, chaotic time, to really support this soul's process. And it can be a simple thing that people do, every day, just for a few minutes, to really support the inner journey so that they can really bring out the full expression of their soul in the coming seasons.
Beautiful. Are you able to share in a couple minutes the process so they can start building this in their life? That would be fabulous. Please share.
Yeah, it's the first step is really creating making some time and space, and beginning by journaling. Maybe taking 5. I love a 7-minute practice. It's kind of like my standard is, if I can take 7 minutes out of my day, even on a busy day, to journal, harvest the seeds of learnings that you've had over the past year. What have you harvested from the fall? What is it that you want to take forward into the new year? So really harvesting the lessons and the learnings from the life you've lived over this past year. And then creating space for that new life, clearing out what no longer has life. We can't have a birth if there's no space for our soul. We have to create an accommodation for the soul. So cleaning out, letting things go, creating space for the new life. And then it's a process of waiting. We're becoming pregnant with this new life, but it's not time. So this practice of tuning in and cultivating that container for this new life. And then the last step is really simplifying, sorting out what is essential versus what doesn't support this inner process. So really simplifying life. During this time of year, it can be very chaotic. So just cleaning out things that aren't really going to support this new life.
Beautiful, and how important during this season. So I love this powerful practice that you're sharing with us, this harvesting, really capturing the wisdom and information, creating space, so powerful. I love to fill space, so creating space is important. And then waiting, allowing time for the wisdom and the information to come forward that you need, and then simplifying. We can so often just keep adding commitments and adding things to our plate and never take things off. So it's really important to make sure that we're reflecting and evaluating what we're saying yes to and what we have in our life. So important. And I know that you've created a gift, a free gift that you're sharing with us today. We are just about to go to commercial break. So can you share about it in 10, 15 seconds, or do you want to share about it when we get back?
If it would be all right, it'd be easier maybe for me to share it when we get back so that I don't feel too rushed.
And we don't want to miss any juicy parts. Okay, perfect.
Thanks so much, Rebecca.
Of course. So on that cliffhanger, you have a free gift to anticipate and lean into when we return. So we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Tune in for Suzanne Ross and Lighten Up TV, evolutionary wellness for the body, mind, and spirit. Each episode features Suzanne and her amazing guests, including inspirational authors, speakers, wellness experts, and spiritual guides. This series is focused on achieving total well-being so that you can live well and love life. Visit lightenuptv.net to find out more. Lighten Up TV is presented by the Awakening Center, a nonprofit for those seeking a higher way of living and being. Don't miss out on living your best life now. Go to lightenuptv.net today.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break. And actually, let me give you a tip here, the inside scoop. If you haven't been listening to the commercials, I encourage you to do so, because here's what I can tell you about those individuals and organizations that are on those commercials. One, we're actually creating commercials with announcements about upcoming programs and shows we've launched and have been announcing about our Empowered Connections TV channel that we're bringing positive and transformational programming to the world. We're very excited. So if you listen to the commercials, you'll learn more about that. And then secondly, these commercials are produced by organizations and individuals that believe in empowering women. That's why they're being showcased during this time frame. That's why they're in that space, because they believe the work that we do on this show is important, that empowering women does bring transformation around the world. And so they are leaning in with their brand, with their resources to support all of you. And I want to know personally organizations like that. So I encourage you to listen in, get to know these organizations and individuals that believe so powerfully in empowering women. Strongly encourage it and would love for you to reach out and get to know them. Now, we ended this last segment with a little bit of a cliffhanger, so I want to make sure that we answer and promise and deliver what we promised, which is to let you know about the amazing free gift that Nancy has put together for you. So, Nancy, do you mind sharing a little bit about your gift?
Oh, sure, Rebecca. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So, this holiday season is really this process of the journey of our soul to rebirth itself into a greater, more golden and authentic expression of the potential that we have. But this process can really be challenging, as there's not a lot of support in our society to support this type of transformation. It can be frustrating, exhausting, and confusing, particularly during this holiday season when our soul's calling us inward. My gift is a guide that I created as a resource for women who are in the process of birthing a greater expression of their soul's potential. And that's particularly pronounced during the midlife passage. And so this guide is really focused on understanding the journey of the soul in rebirthing itself through the midlife passage. And embedded in the guide itself is a link to schedule a consultation if they wish to learn more about how to live a soul-directed life and how to design a life that truly does give her the true potential that she has waiting for herself in her soul.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for making this available. Is it an ebook or a report? I want to make sure I'm calling it the right thing.
Yeah, it's a report. So
Perfect.
It's not a full ebook. Well, I guess it depends on how many pages. It's 12 pages, so I don't know if that qualifies as an ebook or a report.
Well, I love sharing that because we were talking about simplifying earlier. And so having valuable information in 12 pages or less is super supportive and an easy yes to lean into. So I really encourage all of you, especially those who are wanting a little more support during the holiday season, to lean into Nancy's generous gift and help that birthing of the greater expression of yourself coming forward. Nancy, thank you so much for making that generous gift available to us.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks, Rebecca.
Absolutely. So I'm going to give another cliffhanger. So I will let you know how to access Nancy's gift at the end of the show. So you want to make sure you stick with us as we go through the rest of our amazing time together. But I promise you'll find out how. So our next amazing guest is Leslie Ellis. And let me share a little bit about Leslie. One, you're going to love her energy. She has a lot of passion and energy for what she does. I know you're going to enjoy that. And she is a speaker and sales expert. And she has founded an organization called Savvy Selling Now with an exclamation point. Again, there's that energy. 30 years of sales experience, which she loves. She loves helping people make that connection around sales. She has gotten multiple awards and honors for her sales expertise and the results she's able to help people get. She loves results. She has an MBA. And I want you to warmly lean in with me and welcome the amazing Leslie Ellis as she empowers you around business and sales to the show. Welcome, Leslie Ellis.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. I am so thrilled to be here. And I have to say, I just love what Nancy shared. I can't wait to get her free gift.
Yay!
Yay!
Good. Well, before we dig too much into the content and all the wisdom you have to share with us, do you mind sharing from your heart a little bit why this work around sales and empowering people in this area is so personally important to you?
Absolutely. You know, I started going to networking events about 8-9 years ago, and I noticed something happening over and over again. You know, entrepreneurs start a business because they love what they do. But they were really bad at actually selling what they do. And I could see that they could use help so that they can make more money, which is, you know, ultimately why you start a business. One of the reasons you start a business is because you want to make money. And I just want to help people be more successful.
Beautiful. And I think you're absolutely right. There's so many talented and gifted people out there that love to do what they do and are so called to bring it to the world, but somehow struggle in selling it and helping people lean in and say yes. So I love that you see that need and you have such a heart to fill that gap and empower people in that area. So digging into that, there's, I believe, a fear that comes up for entrepreneurs around this. So there's not quite knowing how, and then there's a fear. So what do you feel people are afraid of, entrepreneurs in particular, around sales?
I think there's a number of things, but I would have to say the biggest fear, well, there's the fear of rejection, but even more than that, there is the fear that they are going to appear salesy, sharky, sleazy, whatever word you want to use. You know, the kind of the old idea that we have of the used car salesman. You know, you can't walk off the lot until you buy a car, right? But that is just not really true anymore. I meet very few people who sell like that. Nobody wants to be sold to that way. And there is no reason that you would have to be. I've never been that way. I've been in sales for 33 years. It's all about building relationships so that people know, like, and trust you. We've all heard that. And then just asking them to actually work with you or to buy from you. And for some odd reason, people seem to have this idea that if they ask, they're appearing too salesy. But that is just simply not the case. I mean, asking for the business is part of what you need to do to be successful.
I'm just as you're sharing this, Leslie, and I absolutely had that perspective around sales when I was originally in sales positions, and this was in the corporate world and in the non-for-profit world. I just felt almost crippled around sales because I never wanted to be perceived that way. And then I had this shift where I suddenly realized, oh, I'm the expert in the process, because I would see people saying yes to things that weren't serving them. And I could have served them at a higher level, but had gotten kind of crippled in the process of sharing it. Like not crippled in the sense that I couldn't get the words out of my mouth. I didn't know how to express it without, in a sense, shutting down inside. And I finally realized I could actually consult people through the process as an expert, knowing the things they needed to make decisions about so that they could decide the right thing for them. Yes or no. And that created this profound shift that I actually felt very empowered to guide people through a decision-making process. And it made a huge difference for me.
Absolutely. I mean, that is so true. I couldn't agree with you more.
I love it. So for those of you who have that concern, what I want you to hear from us is there's another way. It doesn't have to be like that. That's not the only way to serve and to sell. And what dropped into my spirit as you were sharing, Leslie, is that when we have events or we're throwing a party, frequently we're excited to share that. And that's an offer that you're making. Will you come and join me? Will you come to my party? And actually, people, your friends, would be insulted if you didn't ask. It can be the same thing around sales.
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, that's a great analogy. I mean, people do. I mean, if you didn't invite some of your friends to your party, they would. They would be either hurt or offended, or maybe confused.
Exactly. Which doesn't help the relationship.
Right. You know, and a lot of people think, well, you know, I've presented my product or service, so if they want it, they will ask me for it. And yes, sometimes that is true. But often it's not. Often you have to reach out.
Well, because they could just think you're sharing about some cool stuff, not that it's accessible or available to them.
Right.
Now, the rejection piece you touched on a little bit. Is there a way we can avoid rejection for those of us who don't like it?
Yes, absolutely. Don't own your own business.
That's not the hope I was looking for, Leslie.
I know. But here, seriously, the answer to that is no. You can't avoid rejection. It's literally impossible. I mean, sometimes it's just simply a question of you don't have the right product or service at the right time at the right price. So it's a temporary rejection, you know, not right now. But other times, you know, you're just not going to be the right person or have the right product or service for whatever reason. You know, a few years ago, I was looking for a financial planner, and I met a wonderful man. But you know what? I wanted to work with a woman. Nothing against him. I just preferred to work with a woman. And so sometimes those things happen. So you have to be prepared for that. And you have to somehow internally accept the fact that, you know, there is going to be rejection. And it's going to happen, you know, I mean, realistically over and over for any number of reasons. And sometimes, you know, the truth is sometimes people just don't like you. And, you know, you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, so to speak. So you need to accept that. If you want to throw, you know, a pretty party for a moment, you know, go for it. But you have to be able to move on, because otherwise you get stuck and you stop asking for the business. And that is detrimental.
Beautiful. And we are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. It goes so quickly, Leslie. But something that really helped me around this rejection piece, and I just was going to give this as a thought as we go into our commercial break here, is that I wanted the yes people to be yes and the no people to be no. And I wasn't attached to one or the other, but I certainly didn't want the yes people saying no and the no people saying yes, because I can best serve the yes people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Versus the other.
And it's actually, I would say it's actually worse for someone to say yes when they're actually a no.
Exactly. But I do need to interrupt our conversation because we're going to commercial break.
Okay.
So we will continue that thought when we get back. Talk to you in a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. We are talking about rejection and having yes people say yes and no people say no. And we just wanted to finish up that thought with you so we weren't leaving you in a place that you're hanging, but really have some closure to that. And behind the scenes, we were even talking about how important it is, because I found for years I was trying to serve everybody. I was trying to make everybody a yes. And I was twisting and turning myself trying to serve everyone versus serving the people I could best serve. And when I learned how to consult them through the sales conversation so they could see if they were a yes or a no, and I honored both, I could help people, the yes people say yes, and powerfully serve and support them. The no people say no, and release and let them go to where it is a yes for them with love, support, and positive energy. And it made a really big difference for me. And Leslie, I'd love to get, I know I cut you off there, so I wanted to get your additional thoughts on that, so we're not leaving any wisdom on the table.
I really encourage people to look for the no's. I know that sounds funny, but the truth is not everybody's going to be your client or customer. And knowing that is so much better than just not knowing. When people don't get back to you or, well, call me in a month. Call me in a month. Call me in a month. I would just rather have somebody say no right up front. Then you can move on and you can find your right people.
Yep, exactly. The yes is being yes. Love it. Now, as we are closing in on our conversation today, I know that you have put together an amazing gift for us and for our listeners. Do you mind sharing what that is?
It is a report called The One Thing You Can Do Now to Immediately Make More Money. And it's a very practical piece. And I try to make it fun as well.
Beautiful. So practical is good. I love reports. And then one thing we can do now to start making money. So isn't that great to know the one thing? So Leslie, I appreciate you sharing that with us. And listeners, I promised to let you know how to access the gifts. The gift I talked about, 7 Myths and Powerful Truths About Money. the report that Nancy talked about to really empower you, help you dig into a greater expression of yourself. And then Leslie's gift, her report of that one thing you can do now to start making money. Here's how you access all of those gifts. You simply go to www.radio, because we're on the radio gifts, because there's more than one, plural, radiogifts.net. So that's radiogifts.net. You'll enter in your name and email address so we can stay in touch, and then just scroll down to the gifts that are of service and support to you. This is where you get to step into a leadership position in your life. You get to make a choice to say yes or no to those things that will most serve you as you are moving powerfully forward in your life, in your business, in your relationship with your soul. I encourage you to lean in and say yes. And then I asked Leslie if she had a top tip that she could give us, especially at this time of year, that will serve and support all of you. And she said yes. So she was a yes person saying yes. Leslie, do you mind sharing what that top tip is?
Absolutely. A lot of people believe that between Thanksgiving and the end of the year, there's very little business, or in fact, no business that happens. And I would say that if that is what you think, that is what will be true. Because if you think that nothing's going to happen, you really won't take the steps that you need to take to make things happen. But I know for a fact that there is a ton of business that happens at the end of the year. If you sell to companies, a lot of them have use it or lose it money. So December is actually a great time to reach out to them. And if you sell to individuals, if that's your market, it's a really great time to set people up for January. So I would really encourage people to treat the holidays just like any other time of the year. If you want to take time off, of course, that's fine, but don't stop doing what you do, because it is actually a great time to set yourself up for having a fantastic next year, 2016.
Beautiful. So encourage you to keep moving forward. It's not one or the other. This is a great time of year. I know, Leslie, you and I talk about that a lot. And in fact, we're part of a powerful telesummit that is coming up called Ahead of the Curve. So be listening for more information about that, as that we give you steps and tools and insights so that you can live your life and build your business in such a way that it is ahead of the curve and bring forward all that you're called to bring forward. I want to thank all of you, my guests included, Nancy and Leslie, for being here today and sharing from your heart on a practical and a profound level. Listeners, for saying yes to you, to your soul, to all that you're called to bring forward. And I want to remind you, as you go forth and you go out this week, to carve that time out for you. 7 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever the time may be, that you are leaning into you, that you are pausing, you're listening, seeing what it is that you need today to serve and support you on your journey, because you are so valuable and so needed. There's no one else just like you. You are the gift, and it's so important for you to remember that, especially this time of year when you can be pulled so many directions. And the choice is yours. You get to choose to keep saying yes to you so you can serve from a place of overflowing, because you're nurtured and you have what you need to bring forward. Or you can choose to kind of run on depletion by not leaning into you and really filling yourself to a place of overflowing. So I want to encourage you to make the choice to pause, to listen, to lean into those things that are going to serve and support you, to bring all of you forward. Fully step into your soul purpose in a practical and a profound way so that you can fully live your life. Be front and center and fully occupy the space that you're called to occupy, so you can fully serve and connect with all of those that you're called to serve and connect with in a way that's empowering to you and to them. Wherever you go, whatever you do, May you always, always bloom where you're planted and shine. I so look forward to talking to you next week.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Women's Channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.
Thanks again for listening to the preceding program, brought to you on the Voice America Women's Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericawomen.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the preceding program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.